We had the opportunity to visit Hidden Falls Hatchery on Baranof Island soon after the salmon were starting to return up the creek that leads to their fish ladder. There is a population of brown bears that live near the hatchery, and while not tame by any means, they are habituated to human activity around the hatchery, and we could therefore get fairly close in relative safety. It doesn't hurt that a free buffet of salmon is way more interesting than a few people staring at them through camera lenses and binoculars. Along with the bears, there are a large number of bald eagles that were fishing in the creek, although the day that we were there, they seemed a lot more interested in easy meals from the bears' scraps. These bears seemed like they needed a lot more practice fishing, but after countless attempts, this young brown bear finally managed to grab a small salmon for a meal. Headed down to Anan Bay. It's a place where you can go and see grizzly bears feeding on salmon that come back up the river. And to get in there, you need to go up to there's a walkway where you have to kind of beach your dinghy. Most people will go in there with inflatables and beach them apparently, but this Boston whaler is close to 700 pounds, so we can't really beach it easily. And the problem is if we put it up on the beach and the tide goes out, then we have to wait for another tidal cycle because it'll just be too heavy to get off of the beach. So what we're going to try is, we got this thing called an anchor buddy that works with our dinghy anchor. And the idea is that it's a stretchy cord that pulls the boat back off of the beach. So right now what I'm doing is I'm setting up our dinghy anchor. This is a Mantis dinghy anchor. It's a pretty cool little anchor. So it goes together just like that. And then there's a little roll bar that goes across the top of it. It's just kind of like a mini rocket anchor, or any of the other new anchors with roll bars on them. So the dinghy anchor is all ready to go. The idea with the anchor buddy is kind of like a giant bungee cord. So what we'll do is we'll hopefully throw the anchor over the back of the dinghy, and I think I'm going to rig it with this towing bridle so that it's going centered over the back of the dinghy. We'll throw the anchor down, and then we'll pull the whaler into shore. We'll bring it into shore under power maybe. Jen and Cass will hop off of the boat. Sure, we've never used it before, but it seems like a good idea. I've read of people using them. I've seen video of people using them. So we'll try it today and see how it works. It's pretty rocky in there where we're going to, so if we park up against the rocks and the tide goes out, the dinghy can get scratched up and stuff. Jen's sitting here laughing at me. The video's been going for 3 minutes. We had a permit to go ashore at the Anan Wildlife Observatory on a day when the tides were extreme, moving 16 feet in 6 hours, which is over 2.5 feet per hour. The anchorage in front of Anan Bay is known to have extremely poor holding and rapid depth changes, so we opted to anchor in nearby Fool's Inlet the night before and go in our whaler. We were hoping to avoid getting stuck on the beach when the water receded with the extreme tides, so it seemed like a good time to try out anchoring with the anchor buddy.
We tried a few times to anchor right by the ranger station, but the current coming out of the creek was way too strong, so we bailed on that plan and went around the corner to a more sheltered cove. It would add about a half-mile walk through bear country, but it seemed like the best option for the conditions. We got our anchor set to keep the whaler in as deep a spot as was possible given the shore access and terrain, and tied a line off on shore so that we could pull the boat in when we returned. We then headed off down the boardwalk toward the ranger station to check in before continuing on to the viewing area above Anan Creek. Black bears at Anan Bay are also habituated to humans like the brown bears at Hidden Falls Hatchery. In spite of that, they are still very wild, and we were advised to carry bear spray and make a lot of noise around corners to avoid startling one on the trail. Similar to our experience at Hidden Falls, we saw bears looking into the water and trying to catch fish, but not doing a lot of catching. It was pretty amazing to see a sow walking around with a couple of really young cubs, and then to see the cubs feeding before we left. We got a little preoccupied watching all of the bears, so we returned to our dinghy a little later than planned and unfortunately came back to find the whaler sitting high and dry on some rocks on the beach. Not so much a failure of the anchor buddy, but more operator error and poor planning.
Today we went up to see the bears, and when we came back our dinghy was on the water. All right.
We had no choice but to wait for the water to come back up and refloat the boat, but at least with the extreme tidal exchange, the water came back up as fast as it receded, and Cassidy managed to amuse herself playing with starfish on the beach.
Her beach, it's a nice place to relax. There's a lot of flies over by Bella's house, but she likes flies. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time!